Hello, welcome back to Top Flight Family. In this video, I am going to share with you 9 ways that you can inject a little bit of luxury travel into your next family vacation. My name is Carmen Sognonvi, and if you're new to our channel, we are the Sognonvi family, and we are all about fostering togetherness as a family by experiencing new adventures here in New York City where we live and all around the world because we love to travel. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our next video. Also be sure to follow us on Instagram at Top Flight Family. Now, everybody has a little bit of a different idea about what luxury travel means to them. So first, I'm going to start by telling you our family's approach to luxury travel. And it can really be summed up by 3 simple rules. Rule 1 is save time. We want to minimize the amount of time we spend on the boring stuff so that we can maximize the amount of time we're having fun. Rule 2 is reduce hassle. Of course, traveling with kids is always going to be a little bit more complicated than traveling as a couple or with other adults, but there are still many things you can do to simplify and streamline the experience. Rule 3 is maximize comfort. The more comfortable kids or parents are, the better of a mood they'll be in, and the more pleasant travel will be. So at every single part of the travel process, we do what we can to make things as comfortable as possible. So by following these 3 simple rules when it comes to travel, I find that our family is able to really enjoy quality time because we're not stressing out about all of the unpleasant logistics that can happen when you travel. But for us, it goes a little bit deeper too. As parents of color, Serge and I believe it's really important that our daughters be able to walk into any kind of situation or any room and never feel that they don't belong or that they don't have a right to be there. So whether it's a first-class plane cabin or a 5-star hotel or a Michelin-rated restaurant, we want them to feel comfortable and confident and walk in with their heads held high. So that is really, really important to us. Okay, so let's move on to the 9 ways to inject a little bit of luxury travel into your next family vacation. Now, you may be wondering, does the Sognonvi family do all 9 of these things on every single trip? Obviously not. As much as I would love to, we do not have an unlimited budget, so on every trip we're going to splurge on some things and skimp on other things. And you should take this approach too. If you are a foodie family, maybe you want to fly coach and stay in a cheap Airbnb so that you have more cash to spend at amazing restaurants. Or if you really hate flying and you want to make it as comfortable as possible for yourself, maybe you'll want to splurge on business class airfare, but you'll stay at a cheaper hotel and eat inexpensive street food. So you should really mix and match depending on what your priorities are. But these 9 things should give you some inspiration for how you can inject a little bit of luxury travel into your next family vacation. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1, use CLEAR and TSA Pre. Now, we live in New York, so we fly out of 2 of the busiest airports in the world, JFK and LaGuardia. However, from the time we set foot into the airport terminal to the time we're done with security, it takes us on average just 8 minutes. And that's because we use both CLEAR and TSA Pre. So let's talk about TSA Pre first. So this is a trusted traveler program where you register with the government, and that gives you access to a shorter security line, and you also don't have to take off your shoes or take your liquids out of your bag. It costs $85 for 5 years, and then kids under 12 are free. If you travel a lot internationally, you're better off getting Global Entry, which also includes TSA Pre for free. But Global Entry also allows you to access shorter immigration lines when you're coming back into the US. So that's actually what we have. So Global Entry costs $100 for 5 years, but unlike TSA Pre, kids actually need their own Global Entry membership as well. Now, if you're thinking that this seems kind of pricey, you should know that you can actually get TSA Pre and Global Entry basically for free if you pay for it using one of the big travel credit cards like Chase Sapphire Reserve or American Express Platinum, because basically they will credit that back to you on your statement, so you can get it basically free of charge. I think that every single family who travels more than a couple times a year should at the very least get either TSA Pre or Global Entry. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, I would highly recommend getting a CLEAR membership. So CLEAR actually works with individual airports to create specific screening lines. So with a CLEAR membership, you can actually skip to the very front of the security line. So whether it's TSA Pre or the regular line, you skip to the very front of the line. So you don't even have to wait in that shorter TSA Pre line. So CLEAR is $179 per year, and kids under the age of 18 are free. There's been a couple times where the TSA Pre line at the airport was closed. So instead of standing 45 minutes in the regular security line, CLEAR let us skip the whole thing and just go straight through security. It was amazing. Number 2, Never check luggage. One of our rules is to minimize hassle, and one of the biggest headaches for travelers is lost luggage. Now, this is something we have never ever experienced because we fly exclusively carry-on. So on each trip, we probably save a good hour or two by not checking luggage because we never have to stand in a bag drop line, and because we always use electronic boarding passes on our phone. As soon as we get to the airport terminal, we head straight for the security line. Now, after we land, we never have to wait around for ages at that luggage carousel. We go straight to the exit because we have our bags with us already. Now, I've been thinking of maybe doing a video about how to pack carry-on only when you're flying with kids. If that sounds like it's of interest, leave a comment and let me know. Number 3, use the airport lounge. Now, one of the ways in which we maximize comfort when we're waiting for our flight is that we actually wait inside an airport lounge instead of by the gate. So these lounges have really cushy seating, they've got charging stations, they've got free food and drink, and it's just so relaxing to be able to have a glass of wine before you get on a plane. Not to mention, food at airports these days is so overpriced. I mean, easily I dropped $70 just on getting the 4 of us some breakfast. So I actually think you end up saving money even if you have to pay a little bit of a fee to access these lounges. So we fly Delta a lot, and I have access to the Delta Sky Club through my American Express Delta Reserve card. Serge has the American Express Platinum card, so he also gets free access to the Delta Sky Club. And then for our girls, we usually have to pay about $29 each for them. But for times that we're not flying Delta, or if there isn't a Delta Sky Club at that airport, we still have access to lounges through our membership with Priority Pass. So Priority Pass gives you access to 1,200 lounges in 143 different countries. And there are some really fantastic lounges included in this. For example, a lounge that we used in the Taipei airport had a whole noodle bar. I mean, it was so good. And the lounge in the Punta Cana airport in the Dominican Republic actually had an outdoor pool overlooking the runway. So with Priority Pass, you can purchase a basic membership for $99 per year, which allows you to use lounges, but you would have to pay $32 each time you go. A much better option is to sign up with one of the big travel credit cards because they'll give you a free Priority Pass Select membership, which is like one level up. That gives you completely free access to the lounges, and you can bring up to 2 guests for free. So again, this is a fantastic perk, and with the right credit card, it doesn't have to cost you a penny. Number 4, fly first or business class. One of the biggest ways that you can, of course, maximize comfort is by flying first class or business class. I know there are some people out there who believe that kids and babies just do not belong in a business or first class cabin, and if you ask me, they can go stuff it. I believe that kids have a right to be just about anywhere adults can be, but that it's up to us as parents to really train them to behave appropriately in these situations. I can't tell you how many times we've been on a plane, the flight has landed, everyone's getting up to start getting their bags, and adults turn around and look at Sean and Ella and they're like, oh my God, I had no idea there were kids like in our row right behind us. And it's because they're quiet, they're respectful, they don't kick the seat, and so you wouldn't even know that they were there. Now, for most families, including ours, flying first in business class every single time is not going to be realistic. But in those situations, I would highly recommend that you fly at least premium economy. Now, if you've never flown premium economy before, it actually doesn't cost that much more. It's usually about 25% to 50% more than a regular coach flight. But the perks that you get are so valuable. The seats are wider, you have more leg room, you usually get a free alcoholic drink, and because you board before the main economy cabin, you never have to worry about there not being enough space to put your carry-on luggage. I am a huge fan of premium economy, and I'm really happy to see that more and more airlines are starting to add it as an option. Number 5, use a VIP airport service. A lot of people don't realize this, but many airports around the world offer VIP services that help you get in and out as quickly and comfortably as possible. When we visited Dubai, for example, we used a company called Marhaba, and their representative met us at our gate as we were disembarking the plane, and they whisked us away on an airport buggy and helped us get through immigration and security really quickly. When we went to Jamaica, we used a company called Club Mobay, and their representative saved us from having to wait in a long immigration line. Plus, while we were waiting for a driver, we got to relax in a lounge with complimentary food and drink, and it was just a super relaxing experience. Number 6, book a suite or 2 adjoining rooms. So one of the most important things when we travel is to book accommodations that will give us lots of space. I know that a lot of families will often just all pile into one double room and everybody's on top of each other and your stuff is everywhere, and I just feel like that creates the kind of conditions where people are going to be really irritated with one another, and it's just not going to be any fun. So when we travel, we try as much as possible to book either a one-bedroom suite that has a pull-out couch that the girls can sleep on, or we book adjoining rooms where Serge and I take the king room and the girls take the double room. So the reason that we do this is, of course, having more space is important, but I also think the separation is really important. So I like to be able to put the girls to bed early and then close a door, and then Serge and I can have a little bit more time to stay up, have some wine, have some conversation, and just enjoy a little bit of grown-up time without the kids. Now, this is so important to me that if given the choice between a double room at a luxury hotel or a one-bedroom suite at more of a mid-tier hotel, hands down, I would rather stay at the mid-tier hotel and have more space and have that separation, because it just makes all the difference when you're traveling. Number 7, opt for a club level room. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously we love a luxury hotel, and if you're gonna be staying at a luxury hotel, I would highly recommend that you look into booking a club level room. If you're not familiar with this, most luxury hotels will have an exclusive floor or maybe couple floors that are considered club level. So guests who stay in these rooms will have access to a private lounge which serves complimentary food and drinks all through the day, and sometimes it also comes with other perks like a special concierge service or free shoe shines or pressing of suits, things like that. These club level lounges are so great for families because kids often aren't hungry when it's actually mealtime, especially if you're traveling somewhere where there's a time difference. So at those random hours like 3:30 p.m. or 9 o'clock at night, it's really great to be able to hit the lounge and get some snacks for your kids. And of course, while you're there, why not enjoy a glass of champagne as well? Number 8, book a private tour. Another way you can save time, reduce hassle, and maximize comfort when you travel is by booking a private tour of a place or attraction instead of fighting the crowds yourself. Now, one of the most epic private tours we've done is, of course, the VIP private tour at Disney World. This is where you get a dedicated tour guide who takes you all around the parks, you get unlimited fast pass access so you never have to wait in line, and they even pick you up at the airport and help you check into your hotel. But theme parks are not the only places you can use a private tour. We've had great experiences, for example, exploring Aruba in a private Hummer tour, or sailing around Cabo and the Sea of Cortez in a private charter boat. Those are just a couple of examples. So next time that you're booking a vacation, look into a private tour and see if that's something that you could work into the budget. Number 9, try some fine dining. Now, if you follow us at all, you'll know that we're big fans of street food and hole-in-the-wall type local joints, and some of the best meals we've had have been in places that are not at all fancy. But every once in a while, we do enjoy experiencing fine dining as well. So if you're not already including fine dining restaurants as part of your family vacation, you should seriously consider it. Now, we've eaten at a lot of restaurants that are probably exactly what you would imagine when you think about fine dining, like white tablecloths and fawning waiters. One of our most memorable meals was at the Sugar Mill, a restaurant at the luxury resort Half Moon in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Now, yes, it was a very elegant experience, but being that it was in the tropics and that we were sitting outside, it still felt really laid back. Another memorable meal we had was at Beano's Cabin in the ski resort Beaver Creek in Colorado. Now, the food was incredibly refined and created by some of the top chefs in the country, but the way you actually get to the restaurant is it's only accessible by a sleigh pulled by a snow cat, which is one of those like giant machines. And when you get to the restaurant, you're given slippers to change into. So you basically have this incredible fine dining meal, and the whole time you're sitting there in your slippers. It was one of the coolest things we ever experienced. Okay, if you want more family travel tips, just click there to watch, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.